All right, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Monday, January 22nd, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So markets here with a little bit of a gap higher, continuing that strength from last Friday. Again, I've been saying I expect us to at least challenge, make new all-time highs, but again, Friday's price action was a little unexpected timing wise. I mean, I thought we would, I've been saying I thought we would probably go to new all time highs, but, I could probably count on one hand the amount of times, maybe two hands, in 13 or 14 years I've been doing this, that we had a major breakout, especially a new all time high on an OPEX day. So, especially a Jan OPEX, a lot of premium there. But in any case, it did happen. We saw some continued strength here. I'm not even going to call this a pullback because A, we're green, and B, look at the overnight low was a gap up, and it's at 48.72 on the ES. We didn't even touch that. So, market's just kind of hanging out here. There is a lot of gamma at 48.65. I don't see us getting through that today. Tomorrow, maybe you could see a little turnaround Tuesday action. So, a little doji after a gap up. You're already, I wouldn't say extended, but you look at the BBs here, you're outside of the band. So we could get a little pullback. I can't rule that out. But bears really, if you're going to make this into a fake breakout, for me, the big line in the sand is, it's all the way down here at 47.90. You got to get through all these levels here. And then if you can get a close below 47.90, remember, that was that previous pivot from the 28th last year. And then 1-2, we could never get above that. We touched 4,800 twice. We can never get above 47.90. That would be kind of the big line in the sand for me in the short term. If bears are going to make this into a fake breakout, I mean, I'm not expecting that. I'm just saying that's kind of the case there. We are into a bit of a different period. It could be a period of risk here. Obviously, the market's not acting like it. But what period of risk means is just it. If you get bad news, if liquidity comes out for whatever reason, there's not going to be that backstop, right? For the last 2 months, we've just had this. Every 10-point sell-off just gets instantly bought. So market's going to have to kind of do it on its own here. The positives here are the economic data this week is very light, except for PCE, which is on Friday. We do have earnings, but the only big players are ASML and Netflix. Intel, I guess, later in the week, but not really, huge earnings, not big tech yet. We also have next week QRA. That's humongous. It's huge. This caused the rally in October. If Yellen has to issue a lot on the long end, that could be problematic for the market. And then we obviously have FOMC and more big tech earnings. So next week, I think it's going to be more important. But right now, market's just, this is as quiet as it can get. Right now, take a look at the spiders here. Let's just check the volume. 54 million here, and I'm doing this at 3. Again, I'm doing the video a little early because the market is asleep here. Again, can't rule out some backing and filling here, but market seems to be fine. One thing I have noticed here, take a look at the IWM in the corner of your screen. That's holding up. It did touch the 20 moving average here today, and it pulled back. This needs to get through that. It should be able to if it's strong. If it's not, this moving average is not even major right now. So if it's strong, it should be able to get through that. But one thing I notice how everything that was weak as hell before OPEX is getting a bid now. Take a look at ARC. It came off the highs here. Russell 2000. Take a look at the transports. We'll talk about those in a minute. Big outside move here, up almost 2%. What did I say could happen after OPEX? I said Mag 7 could pull back, and maybe that would be the last hurrah for Mag 7. Meta down 0.25%. Again, nothing huge. Microsoft down 35 basis points. So Amazon, down 0.5%. We are seeing some relative strength though in, Google. Google's green. Apple's up nicely. But QQQ up only 13 basis points here with the IWM leading the charge. You're also seeing equal weight up 37 basis points. That's this equal weight S&P. That's beating the SPY. QQQ equal weight up 39. That's beating the triple Q. So it's telling you breadth is changing, right? I watch IWM. I want to see that follow through tomorrow, and I want to see Mag 7 continue to cool off. That's healthy rotation. Look for that. We'll be watching that for sure for the rest of the week. If IWM can't get there through that 20 moving average, it's a huge problem. But right now, markets are fine. Again, can't rule out some backing and filling for the Qs. Again, maybe we just retest this trend line. We broke through it last Friday, so that could be a little target there on the downside. And then, of course, you have the pivot there and, the previous all-time high, all that good stuff. S&P, again, 4,800, 4,790. I don't even know if we even get there. But, those would be little pullback levels. IWM, we talked about. We got to get through that moving average. Got to get through 197.50. And then you can go back up to 200. And so on. Dow here, again, a little bit of a doji there. That might need to do some backing and filling as well. But, again, markets are holding up here. Goldman got a pretty good bid. That is helping out the Dow. As it is a larger component. Anyways, SMH here up 52 basis points, so holding up okay. I don't see any problems with the semis. This probably wants to go to 200. The stocks, I think I said 45, so we can go there for sure. But I am definitely seeing, just be aware, signs of some distribution here. Like AMD, that's not retail. That's not retail volume. That's institutional volume. This is institutional volume. Keep in mind, this is getting upgraded. It got upgraded 3 times last week. You know what that means when it's at an all-time high. Look at SMCI. I mean, this is ridiculous. Like, it's probably going to 500, but be careful with these. A lot of people are saying like, oh, well, it's got a weekly, consolidation pattern. True, but the monthly, still parabolic. 20 moving average never caught up. Be careful with these AI names here. That's all I'm going to say about that. But they're holding up for now. Leave them there. If we get a high volume reversal, that can change. IGV acting very well, though it did come off the highs here intraday. That looks fine, though. Just consolidation. No problems there. I think that next level is about we'll just say 430. For the IGV, it is a little overbought here. But, it's acting well, and I don't really have anything negative to say about it. The transports here impressed me today. Remember how weak they were. Even just last Tuesday, and I said, guys, watch 15.2. That's a good support level. And it's holding. And we're now above my resistance here, 15.7. So transports can go higher. Trend is up. You're back above all the moving averages. You'll have some resistance here at 16.2. But, it's looking much better here. This chart has definitely repaired itself. Take a look at the jets here. Went back into that 1750 area and, got a bit off that. They've had a lot of negative news. And, transports, rails, CSX, NSC, JB Hunt, some of the trucking names have been able to pick up the slack, so transport's acting well, and that's not a bad sign. All right, so let's get over to rates here. So 2-year yield, rates are flat, right? No big deal. A little pullback. We talked about the 50 moving average on some of these. They should continue to pull back a little bit, but I think it's a minor pullback for another setup. So I'm not bearish yields, but short term they can do some backing and filling. If we can put in a bull pattern here or a little higher low, I think that especially the long end can really start to get going in Q1. So anyways, XHB, another new all-time high. So that has put in a nice base here. I still don't like the weekly. I still think it's extended on the weekly. So, sometimes you can push up here, but if you don't do enough consolidation, you come right back down. So just be careful of that. Be careful owning home builders up here. They're really lofty and they're extended on the bigger time frames. So do with that whatever you want, but just telling you. 50 VNQ here up 54 cents, pulling back. Nothing terrible. It's doing what it should, right? 50 MA, big green bar, little consolidation. That's where it should be getting a bounce. If you lose this, then it can go all the way down to 79.80. So just be aware of that. But, it's getting a bid there. And we'll leave it alone. XLF got to our level. Finally, so right up 38.32. I've been saying 38 and a quarter just to, round it, but that's the actual levels, 38.32. Careful, all right? Like, this is a good consolidation pattern, but still very extended. I keep saying this because it's what's happening. It's still very extended from that 20-week. Look at Goldman here. This is a really, really, really good daily pattern. I mean, this you can't make it up better than that. Same thing on the weekly, but it's still extended. So if this tries to push up, maybe you could get to 400, but it might stall out there. So again, be careful with banks. They look top heavy as well. Again, I'm not saying they're a short, but just be aware of that. KRE, I think that can still go higher. That has had a nice pullback pattern into the 50 moving average. Same thing with KBE there. Again, 55 to 56 and then 48 to 48 and a quarter for this. Broker dealers getting a nice bid here after the pullback. I think this puts in a lower high. I still think it needs to go down and test 520, maybe even 500 again. Oil here. Oil is continuing to inch up. Let's take a look intraday. We went up into this Little pivot here, smashed against 75 again and couldn't get through it, but we keep hammering on it. The more we hammer on 75, eventually it's going to break. There's an enormous amount of CTAs short this. So if this gets above 75, I think that's their breaking point, and it goes straight to 80. You guys know what I'm going to say. If we close above 75.03 on a weekly close, that's a buy signal basically. It might not even wait that long, but it looks like it's hammering on that now. So definitely upgrading crude a little bit here. It's firming up. We're going to close above the 50 moving average today for the first time since October. It definitely looks better. Also looking better here, XLE. Coming off the lows here. Nothing great, nothing, not a robust move, but it's holding that 79 handle. XOP getting a bounce as well. And the one I like that I'm in is OIH. This one is up 1.7 today, and I really like this level. I've been waiting for it for a long time, and that is acting well. CCJ continuing to pull back here. URNM continuing to pull back with no problems. They just can do some backing and filling. There's no problems with these. Nat gas gapping down because that's what nat gas does. Basically kind of into this little pseudo double bottom here. I wouldn't rule out, maybe even a pierce of that. But I think this is a really good bounce level. You're really oversold on some of the intraday time frames here. There's going to be a wild contract gap in a week by about 30 cents. What does that mean? Well, I mean, if we were to be here next Monday, it's going to gap down to 210. That's not going to affect the actual contracts, but that's what the chart's going to look like. So that's going to be strange. But I do think this is a bid level here. Maybe even a pierce of this little double bottom, but that gas down again, even with positive news. All right. Dollar index here. So that is pulling back, but pattern-wise, again, you're just consolidating beneath the 200. That's bullish. So I think it needs to do a little bit more, but then it can go up to 104.35, maybe even 104.50. So nothing has changed on that front there. Gold here pulling back as well, down $8. Let's not make too much out of that. It's fine for now. If you lose these pivots, you go down and test these moving averages, and then you go test 1960. Silver was interesting. It came sharply off the lows after dumping earlier, and now it's right back down. So I think I think it needs to test 22. It did, but you couldn't hold the bounce. So I think right now 2150 area, 21 to 2150, right in this zone is where I think it wants to go. And I think if we go down there quickly, it's a pretty good bounce level. So I'd be interested in silver there. Platinum, kind of a nothing burger, down $4. Let's not make a lot out of that. Palladium, same thing, just down $10. That's holding double bottom. Copper here, red, down 1%. Again, pattern's really sloppy. I'm not doing anything with copper, haven't for a long time. I still think it needs to go test lower prices. All right, Bitcoin here continuing to grind lower into that 100 period moving average there. That could be a bounce level. So you've got that kind of coinciding with this weekly green bar that I've been talking about. Do not want to close below that on the weekly. You can spike below it, but you want to close back above it. If we close below it, I think Bitcoin's definitely in correction mode. And, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but I guess this, you could say this is support, but I don't like the higher highs and higher lows. Like we never had even like a lower low and like a symmetrical wedge type look. But that said, either way, the weekly has no support. We just kind of shot up. So I'd just be a little careful. I mean, you could just go to the 20-week moving average and bounce there, but I'd be careful if we close below that green bar. But right now, it's had a big run. It's going to pull back. I know everybody's freaking out, but when you go up 40% or whatever it is, it's going to pull back 20%, right? So anyway, let's take a look here. So market's just kind of inching back up. See the Russell getting bid. That's good. Good sign. I would like to see small caps get some continued upside. They don't have to close above the 20 today, but I would like to see it happen tomorrow. And I want to see continued weakness in Mag 7. Like they cannot keep carrying the market here. At some point, that's going to hit a critical mass if nothing else takes up the slack here. Again, I'm seeing transports act well. That's a good sign. Other sectors against small caps starting to pick up the slack here. Anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow.